Hey YouTube, it's the test lead, and today's video is tech interview tips. So here's the situation. You applied to a few jobs, you got some callbacks, they set up some interviews, and now you're thinking, how do I prepare for these interviews so that I can stand out from the rest of the competition? Tip number one is to research the company. You probably have a broad idea of what the company does when you first applied to them, but not as mutual interest, so now you're gonna dive deep to everything about the company. One, go on their actual website, go through all different pages, find their mission statement, make sure that their values align with your values, and make sure you can actually discuss their values. Bring it up during the interview. When they ask, oh, why do you want to work there? Say, I saw your values on the website, and they align with my values, so I feel like we could be one good team together. Also, you should Google and read the press releases for your company. That way you can see the latest headlines for the company and bring them up as talking points during your interview. That shows you're deeply invested and really want to get in part of that company. Because any regular person is just going to go to the interview, know just high-level knowledge, and they're going to think, oh, this person just wants a paycheck. But when you actually care about the company and you're invested, that puts you a step up from the rest of the competition. Tip number two is to research the interviewers. I had a few times where I had interviews, a recruiter would give me the person's email and give me the person's information, and he'll tell me, oh, it's not a technical interview, it's just a get-to-know-you interview. And then I would see the person, okay, cool, and then I go on the interview, and then it turns out to be a technical interview. I always prepare for technical interviews either way, so I was prepared, but for someone who wasn't prepared, that might have hurt them in the long run. So if you provide any interviewers' names, make sure you look it up. Use websites such as LinkedIn. Make sure you search in an incognito browser. They should not get a notification that you search in their profile. That's creepy. Use an incognito browser, search the person's name for the company, look at their job title. If it's anything technical and that person's interviewing you, that's probably a technical part of the interview. If it's just like an HR person, you can see it there. So now you have a basic idea of what each part of the interview will be. Also, you can see what the person looks like. That helps break some of the awkwardness because you don't want to be sitting in a room and wondering who's walking to the door. If you already saw their picture on LinkedIn, you already have a basic idea of who they are. And that just calms your nerves a little bit. You can also check the person's job history. So let's say you were a consultant in your past and you see that they were a consultant in their past. You bring out during your interview saying, oh, before I was a consultant, but now I want a more structured company. And that might be a relatable point for you and the interviewer. So they might be more humanized to say, this person is just like me. I also want to see this person's position. I can relate to them. Tip number three is have questions prepared. At the end of each segment of an interview, the interviewer always asks, do you have any questions for me? 9 times out of 10, the interviewee always says, no, I don't have any questions. That's being boring. Have questions prepared. Show you're also interested in learning more about the company as well as the interviewer themselves. Some examples of questions that you might want to ask are, how is success measured in the role I'm applying for? What is the room for growth and what are the levels of growth in the company? How long have you been in the company and what's your favorite part about it? That's the one that I like to ask a lot because it has the person who's interviewing you think to themselves, wait, how long have I been in this company? And also to share what they find enjoyable about it. Because let's say, oh yes, we have a lot of company outings. That's something that you can look forward to once you join the company. Has your role changed since you joined the company? This could be very insightful also, especially for growing companies. Maybe this person started at like an entry-level job and now they're a team lead. That shows there's major room for growth inside the company. As I said, don't be afraid to ask 2 or 3 of these questions just so they're actually interested more in the interviewer and the company itself. Tip number 4 is have auto responses already prepared for certain questions. Certain questions you're going to get asked in every interview, so you should have answers prepared already. When you hear these questions, you shouldn't be thinking to yourself like, what, huh? You shouldn't be stuttering over these questions. These are typical questions you should always expect, so it should be no-brainers as long as you prepare for it. One common question is, why do you want to work here? That's a trick question. They're hiring, you want a job, mutual interest. You should never say that. So when they ask for why you want to work there, say you like the company values, you see the room for growth, you see that as the next part of your life. Say you think it'd be a good learning opportunity in your career path. The next question is, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Never get too down on yourself on this and never get too high. So don't sound cocky, but also don't say, yes, I'm afraid to public speak and I get nervous and I start to cry. No, don't sound too vulnerable. So find some common ground. So for one of your weaknesses, you could say, I'm a perfectionist, where sometimes I spend too much time on a particular task because I want to get it just right. So that's like a twofold answer where you're not saying that's really a negative, but you do spend a lot of time on it Instead, time could be dedicated elsewhere. And then for a strength, you can say, I'm a very good team person. Always stress about team effort because there's a good chance you're joining a team and communicating with other people. So interviewers want to make sure that you can fit well and get along with others. And piggybacking on that one, another common question is, do you prefer to work by yourself or with the team? Also with that one, I never give like a straight answer. I say, I like working by myself because I can focus on the task undistracted, but I also like working with team members as well because I can exchange ideas with other people and see things from a different point of view. That way they don't try to like just label you, oh, he has to work by himself or he has to work in the team. So you can work in both situations. And tip number 5, the final tip is just relax. There's a good chance this will not be your last interview even if you do get the job. You'll go on 100 more interviews until you find a perfect fit for you. Just relax, don't overthink it. By stressing yourself out, you're not gonna be able to sleep, you're gonna be anxious in the interview. Just relax, take it slow, breathe. Remember, there's a million other jobs out there. If you get it, you get it. If not, just keep applying. And then one day you'll find a job that's a perfect fit for you. Just remember to be confident in yourself. If you found this video helpful at all, please like, share, subscribe. If you want a video just like this, please click over here. And hey, don't forget to learn something new today.